Hey, good evening, LinkedIn. Dave Wilson of the Ring of Hire Show. Hey, tonight I'm going to talk about retention and some ideas that you could probably use, or it's a lot about change, and we'll be right back after this. All right. Good evening, everyone. Dave Wilson of the Ring of Hire Show. Hey, before we get started, I hope peak season is going great for everybody. Whew. Trying to find all those candidates. It's only going to get more fun and fun as the next couple weeks go on, and all these companies, that want to hire seasonal and even professional services. And there is just, you got to really work hard to find the candidates today. It's unbelievable. The work that you put in, it really takes its toll on you in a way, because you really go and you find these candidates or employees and put some hard work into it, and then they're gone. They leave. And you look on LinkedIn a lot, and there's always things about saying what you need to do, and I just think everybody likes to listen. You like to listen to ideas, but you got to be able to follow through on them. If you're a VP or above, or and you take anything away from some of the videos or some of the live streams on LinkedIn from the opposite side, you might be able to learn a couple things and just listen about the insights. The main thing that I look at is being employer of choice. The employer of choice. What does it mean? You want those candidates. Listen, years ago, you had your really good companies that you just couldn't get in. You had to know somebody or politics or something just to get into that company to work. You didn't know how else. You could apply all you want. You weren't going to get in there. And so what does employer of choice mean? And to me, you got to look the value of the competitive pay. Listen, we all say the same thing every day. Are they going to increase the rates? Are they going to increase the pay? What are they doing, right? You might have to take a little setback on that and really look at where the range of your job that you're posting for and the salary that it should be or close to. Promotion within. Listen, people look at companies, and when they first walk in, and they look around that first week or two, they're looking to say, wow, okay, did they go to the outside for this people? Did that person work in this job months ago, years? Was the supervisor starting out as an entry level when they came in? They want to know. There is some candidates that really, really want to excel, and they want to step out. But if it's not there, if you don't see it, hey, there's Rob. How you doing, sir? Rob's always on the show, all the way in Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, close to it. How's it going, Rob? Hope things are going good. We're talking about the employee retention, Rob. Again, the value, competitive pay. You got to look at that. You have to. There's no ways around it. I don't believe you have to be the highest, and I don't have to believe you're going to be the lowest, because being the highest, sometimes, to me, around this area, some of the companies got to pay extremely high to get people even in the door. It's a fact that nobody wants to work for them, so they come up with this astronomical number and bonus, right? And it's not real. you know that these big, huge bonuses in some of these companies around here, that's not real. The chances of them paying them out are very slim. I hear it from candidates all the time. Well, you got to do this. They say you'll get this big bonus. And then when you get there, it all gets torn apart. Hey, Destiny, how you doing? Thanks for being on the show. But that's part of retention, the value of your competitive pay. Promotion within. We talked about that. Again, people look at that when somebody gets hired, they're looking for that kind of growth. Ongoing learning. Listen, if you go into some companies and they don't have any kind of training for you, that's a red flag. I mean, if you really want to move up on the company, it's just they don't provide training. So you either go on the outside and train yourself, but it's hard when a company doesn't offer that. This is good information. Very true. Thanks, Destiny. But, be honest with their employees and thank you once in a while. But hey, trust me, we're going to get into that, Rob. And that's really that's all it takes on some employees, just to say one couple things nice a day, or even during a week in a meeting, give a shout out, make people feel good about themselves, not just you walk in that door and in logistics, it's horrible. You just walk in that door, punch your time clock with your finger, whatever fingerprint, and that's it. Either you're walking 10,000 miles or you're trying to pick numbers, and it's hard. Logistics is so hard to staff for and retain, but you gotta stop. We always have to stop assuming that, why is it so hard? Why is it so hard? Hey, Morel, thank you. Appreciate it. There he is, all the way from India. It shouldn't be that hard on people. If you want them to learn, if you want them to know new things, teach them. Offer online courses, offer something. So, and LinkedIn, say to them, hey, let's just go out there and do some LinkedIn Live learn or LinkedIn training. I mean, you got to do something to step out from everybody. You have to be different. And that ongoing learning just really helps, and the corporate, if they want to be known as, employee of choice, corporate's got a lot to do with social, responsibility outside of the company. You got to just get your name out there and get a good name about yourself. Let's just use Coca-Cola and Pepsi as an example. Pepsi, everybody knows Pepsi. Everybody knows Coke. What's the difference? Would you rather work for Coca-Cola or Pepsi? It all comes down to, even on here, work-life balance. How much corporate puts out there about the company, the positive information, help them grow and be like promised even after they're hired. That's Destiny. That's awesome that you say that. Help them grow and be there like you promised even after they're hired. Now, the reason I'm saying that is because I've seen that. Like people will, when you go into an interview process, right? You're going to go in there and they're going to tell you, listen, I do it. But I tell the truth. You need to tell the truth and be so transparent. Do not sugarcoat it. Hey, Bernard, how you doing, sir? Welcome to the show. If you're doing an interview with someone and you're telling them all these good things, right? Because you need the job filled, right? Let's just say in logistics. You need that job, right? Don't tell them about this. Don't tell them about that. They're going to find out. And that's what Destiny's saying there is keep your promises. Tell them what they're getting into. There's nothing wrong with honesty, and it's going to go a long way. But you're trying to get those people to join your organization. So employer of choice. That's what you want to be. But for companies to get there anymore, it's hard. It's a lot of change. You're not going to change overnight. I always would say some of the bigger companies can't change, right? That's not true. It's not. If you think like that, that's what's going to happen. Start out with small things, and we're going to go over some things here, like the onboarding and orientation. I mean, every new hire should be set up for success, all of them. When you bring somebody in, that onboarding should be easiest and just smooth right through it. You've seen some of these websites to apply for a job. Whew, that's friggin' hard. Half the people, some of them just stop. All right. You stop because you didn't fill it out because there's problems. Then other people try it. There's stops and then there's problems. What are you doing about it? Why if people are saying your website for hiring right there, it tells them right there, wow, you can't even fill out a resume. I mean, upload your resume into the database there. It won't allow you. There's an error. What's causing the error? Everybody knows about it. But if you don't do something about it, if you don't make that a smooth transition, make that person feel great. From the time that person interviews, you follow them along with some texts, or some calls and say, hey, you just had an interview with one of the managers. You call them, hey, how'd it go? How do you feel it went, right? You're the recruiter. Talk to that person. Take them through every step as you go along, and then call them out in response. If they are going to be hired, listen, you got to make that known. You got to make that decision faster nowadays. You cannot wait a week to make a decision. You cannot do that. I don't care what anybody says. Rob, you know me, you're going to lose that person in today's market if you wait 1 week. You're gone. There's so many different options out here. The candidates can go ahead and apply for 3 different jobs within 1 week. Most likely have interviews with them all. That's what we talk about. So the onboarding, make that smooth, make it good. Represent your company as if it's your own. So when you're talking to that employee, walk them around, giving them a tour, feel good about it. Don't sugarcoat it. This is what we do. This is how we do it. If a person asks you something, why don't they do it this way? You say, listen, we're always up for new ideas, but keep it positive through that whole process, because that first week is very important, especially the orientation. When you want to bring them in, again, it's got to be organized. That person walks in. If you don't have them set up for success, have something set up for them. Their training, right? Too often, that person just gets put in that job. It's not trained properly. So it's your fault that person's not successful. It's just the way it is. If you don't help that person, you're wrong. Excuse me, you are setting that candidate up for failure if you don't work with them. Stop testing your resume. We talk about it all the time, Rob. When we talk about it is the testing. And I know what you're talking about there. There's all your personality tests and all these different tests that they send you before you get hired. And holy crow, look who it is tuning in from Maui. Oh, Bill, must be nice. How you doing, sir? Bill's from Pittsburgh. If you want to really for sales and trades, and you got to reach out to Bill for some questions. It's good to see you, Bill. It's been a long time. Peak season, it's just been busy right now. I'm trying to do about 3 shows a week, and when you're in staffing, it's from morning to night. It's just nonstop during this peak season. But back to the orientation, make that person feel good. Get them in there, smile. Smile. That's all you have to do is to get people in. I'm sorry, Bill. Rob, back to that. The testing, the personality testing. I am not a fan. I'm like half and half of those testing. Just the personality test. I get it. I've taken it to see if I could pass it the way they would want me to think. I take it the way I would do it. And then I just take one just to be crazy and stay in the middle like everybody says. And because everybody gives you advice on those tests, you don't know how you're going to score. And I've seen lose so many good people for these personality tests because I just, unless somebody breaks it down to a science, I don't know, just by looking at one word or something like that. Predictive index, Myers-Briggs. That's perfect, Scott. Appreciate it. And I'm gonna reach out to you, Scott, about that. I want to talk to you about it. Bill, look, I don't like those tests. I don't do well. Bill, I've failed them. I've been yellow. There's green. I don't know. I've taken them. You get so nervous, and then you don't hear anything back. Nobody. You take the test. Nah. If you don't hear from somebody, I wish they would just email you and say, you know what, Dave, you failed the personality test. Dave, you failed. There's nothing wrong. I think, Rob, you'd rather be said that too. You know, call the person up. Hey, listen, you failed the personality test. You don't have any. I don't know. That's just me. My people skills and seeing skills are why I do well in sales. And see, that's perfect the way he says that. Purple. People skills and selling skills are why I do well in sales. That just sums it up with Bill. The next one they were talking about mentorship, and I know Bill would like this one, is when you first start a job, even in logistics, this could be even in the office, mentoring years ago, you would be set up with somebody. You really would be set up with somebody. This is Darlene. I have never passed one. Darlene, you're not the only one there. Trust me. I don't know if I have a personality. I think I do, but I don't know how to answer them sometimes. I go back and forth. I know we'll end up talking about this now. I go back and forth. Should I have said this? People tell you to stay neutral. Stay neutral. Stay in the middle. Do you like working in small groups? You don't want to say yes, but you don't want to say no. So stay in the middle, and everything will just be all right. That's what they say. Gabe, hey, how are you doing, Gabe? Listen, Gabe has a new thing, and I know, Gabe, you're putting out the LinkedIn live shows every night. He's got a new posting. I shared it on there, Gabe. And the hashtag. If you could type that in, Gabe, I want to see the hashtag for that. But testing, there was one. I know I'm going to change the subject here. So that was a couple months ago. I took this one. It was 2 questions. That's all it was. 2. And you had to choose everything. What was about you? You had to just click, like leadership, everything, like 20 different things you had to choose from. And you had to choose which one was you. Okay. So you're like, all right. Next one. Then what would you like to be like? What would you like? What the hell? So I'm like, all right, this. I don't know. I must have clicked 3/4 of each one of them. So I don't know how I did on it. But those, again, test, I don't know. But the mentorship, listen, a lot of, let's see what Scott, great book, Emotional Intelligence, talks about how we relate to others. And this is important, if not more important than job skills. Scott, I agree. I agree with that. I wish the hiring process, you know, I talk about it all the time, and you can talk to your face turn reds about it. You know, it's personality nowadays and just attitude and some kind of experience, just a little bit, doesn't have to be much, maybe 20, 30%. In some roles, you can really, really find some great candidates if you take that high testing, and when they look at the resumes and they don't see certain things, but you get one person that you want to set up and you know that person seems right, and then corporate or somebody else says no. That's a real dag right there. You feel hard. I mean, you're horrible because you really want to hire that person, and something else takes over, you know. Here's Gabe. Let's see. If you want to see more great content like this, do not miss your favorite live shows. Follow the hashtag LinkedIn live streams for daily guide. And Gabe, I appreciate you having me on there at 9 o'clock. He's going to be putting out, he watches a lot of live shows about Gabe, and you can go on this, go connect with him right now, and you'll see from morning all the way tonight that he picks out. And then at the end of the week, he puts a big pictures of everybody's up there. And he's really a gentleman for that. I really appreciate it. I think that's awesome. So the next thing, we were talking about mentorship, and people have gotten away from that. Years ago, if you started out in some jobs, they would put you with someone. So you're training, but that person was a mentor. So even in the trade skill sets, you always had a mentor. So you went to this person. So let's just assume you bring on a new person, even in logistics. Logistics for the retention is very, very low. If you want to raise it, right? If you want to keep those people, you know, you have your supervisors, you have your leads, but you also can put mentors in there. And what that is just say that employee doesn't want to go up to the supervisor, doesn't want to go over here. They can go to their mentor and say, hey, I'm having some problems, or what can I do? If you want to start being an employee of choice, think about that. Mentorship programs really, really work. And there's got, I love LinkedIn, and you got to have Bill. Gab, he does great work. The next one is perks, right? We talk about that. Employer of choice. If you really feel that you have a great benefits package, it doesn't have to be the best, but it doesn't have to be the worst. If you really feel you're right there with everybody else, and you have membership to gyms. A lot of people are doing that now for the health, wellness, keeping fit mentally, physically, financially. They give you training classes on that work the other day they had for the credit unions and how to build your credit. They really work with different things for the company, and the littlest perks can get people with everything with this flexible schedules and remote work options. That's all you hear about. I just want to work from home. I can't do this. Things have changed. And if you have some really good candidate or employees, you might have to flex on that. There's just nothing you can do. You have to, if you want to save some of them, if you want to say, and that they need to work those hybrid, that's fine to do. But you got to do something. You want to be employer of a choice. So you want to have the wellness, you want to have your perks, you want to have your employee compensation. Next thing is communication. Listen, it says here how I like reading about it. Pandemic helped underscore the importance of good work communication. Take what we went through with COVID on how you communicated. Everybody did great. In the beginning, it was rocky. Everybody's like, oh boy, what are we doing here? Making calls, Zooms, everybody went crazy. But think about how the communication has improved. Let's see, would you take a job for more BS, for more money, or less money and less BS for a great company? Rob, I think that's a no-brainer for people anymore. I'll take that less BS for a great company. It's so worth it. People, when you're in a job that is tough and demanding, I'll tell you what, it can take its toll. It can take its toll on you. And when you come up with it and you find a company that's a really good fit, that makes you feel good, that when you go home, you don't have to worry about that. That's it. It's priceless. My son has an internship at Boston. They give him breakfast, lunch. Oh, geez. You give him breakfast, lunch, and have a beautiful gym. See? That's what I'm talking about. His company wants to keep their good employees. And that hits right there on the wellness and the communication. Keep your communication positive. Everybody's got to go negative. When you have that meeting in the morning, have that morning meeting, whether you want to or not. It all starts from the leads and the supervisors. If they're not, you're your first responders there, right? You're out there with them. First thing in the morning, they're all in a group. Well, people don't like doing their stretches, and they have some fun things. But if you don't build them up, you don't build that excitement, just get out there, all right, everybody just go back to work. That you're not going to be known as an employer of choice. Work with the candidates, have fun in the morning, get them pumped up, do something, give them some shout outs, something about, hey, we reached this goal, we've done this. You can go to some companies and it's real positive. You don't want that negativity, because if somebody's negative, they're off to the left-hand side. You don't even see them. But look at that on the communication. I know, right, say Bill, always positive. And Bill knows what I'm talking about. It's so negative at some companies. When I have a lot of candidates coming to me, I can tell which companies aren't doing well. Hey, when you get 5 candidates from the same company and they're all leaving for the same reason, you might get one, but then the next day you get 2 or 3 the same. Like, whoa, what's going on over there? That used to be a really good company. Some of the companies right now that were the top companies you couldn't get into them. Now, you got so many openings. There are so many openings there, and something changed. Something changed after COVID to make candidates leave. I don't want to call the companies out, but I know which ones I wouldn't staff for. They don't treat people, and they're leaving because of the shifts. A lot of the stuff is the shifts, the hours worked, working them 10, 12 hours a day, make it mandatory. If you don't turn that around soon, you're going to lose. You're going to lose big time. Oh, easy to be positive. I agree, Dave. People want to hear their name and how they see. Bill, you're on a roll tonight, and that's exactly what I'm trying to say here is on the communication part. Because just say, how you doing? If a supervisor or something, I always would say it. One of the companies I worked for, I used to like the general manager and the VP would always walk around in the morning, always. Like clockwork. First thing in the morning, they walked around the whole building. And I asked them why they did that. They could talk to everybody on their way and see every department and know what was going on for the whole day just by doing that for about a half hour in the morning because they managed by walking. They walked around, talked to them. You've seen them come at every time, same time. Whoop. Communication. Scott says life is about feeling, not product, not company. Scott, and I'm going to leave that one up there again. To be an employer of choice, to retain your candidates, this is what it's about. I know it's just another show and everybody's saying the same thing, but if you don't listen, if you're in management and you don't do it, I always say it's your fault. You're going to lose. Continuous feedback, especially on performance, like Bill said. You praise some employees about what they've done. If you see something good out there that they're doing, right, go out and just walk up and say, wow, I noticed you were doing this. I want to thank you. That's all it takes. I've had that done to me. You're like, whoa, what'd they just say? All right, maybe feel pretty good. One of your coworkers not feeling well. Hey, is everything all right? Can I help you? It's just a feeling, and it's not about a product or a company. I like that, Scott. That was good how you said that. And it's so truthful. But if you just treat people the way you want to be treated, and if it was your company, how would you treat somebody? That's going to be the winner of an employer of choice. The next one, we talked about training and development. Listen, if you don't have it, if you don't have a training, we talked about it, you're going to lose a lot. You need to have something. Even logistics. Everybody says, oh, it's logistics. How do you do that? Listen, they have online courses that, Bill, I know you're saying, Scott, there's online courses that companies can offer. And not everybody is going to do it. But you know what? They like the idea knowing that it's there. Because, one of the bigger companies is offering everything. You see it on the commercials. My God, you create your own shift. But the company has to do that. I'm sorry. I am not going to call the company out. They have to do that. But I was watching a commercial. I was like, Lord, I want to work there. I was like, make your own schedule, big bonuses, all this, weekends off. Tell us what you want. Here we go. What's your pay date? Holy crow, man. It was all over the place, but that's what they do. Some people never hear anything positive at home or work. Can you imagine what impact you can make on somebody by saying positive? It could be life-changing. I will agree with that 1,000%. And as Rob says, respect. Everybody on here, if you're watching this, please connect with everybody here. They're really good colleagues. They always come on the show when they can, and they'll help you with everything. We all reach out to each other and ask questions, at least once or twice a week. But the other thing, the work-life balance, this one, and I think, Bill, you'll agree with this, is pre-COVID, you didn't hear about, I didn't hear work-life balance. I didn't hear nothing about that. Never, all the years, that just didn't, I don't know, never heard of that wording. And then COVID and now everything. And it's true. A lot of people realize that they don't need to work 10, 12 hours. Listen, if you can work at a company at 5 or 6 o'clock, shut it down, close that laptop, shut that cell phone off. It's harder than it sounds. Been there, done it. I'm getting there, Bill. I'm getting there. It's a hard thing to do if you really want to work and show results, because sometimes you got to really work hard. Sometimes, like peak season, I want to win. I want to win on peak season. This is like my 15th one, and I love peak season. I love taking your employees and bringing them on to work for us. I don't care what I have to do. I'll stay up late. I grab this phone and people texting me still. I respond back. I'm only watching TV or something. Why not? Hey, come on in tomorrow. They're leaving another company. So I take it very seriously. I might work a little bit long hours like this, but I love doing the show. But you can make a difference. I'll learn how to cut back eventually, but it's getting there. Hey, Bob, how you doing? There's Bob. He's always on the show also. Bob, I see you're really following up on those logistics postings. Man, wherever you're getting that information all the time, that's pretty awesome on your post. If you want to follow Bob, he's a veteran and he follows a lot of with everything's going on in logistics. And I always look at your post, Bob. So that's a great job what you're doing. I believe good work-life balance is having work, family, faith. I'm going to get there. But it's true, Bill. Oh, Jesus. Don't ask me. I freaked. Light broke. But what he means there is you if you could just disconnect for a little bit, just put that laptop down, put that cell phone. It does make you feel good. You can smile. It does make you feel good once in a while because you can spend time with your family and you get to see them. A paradigm shift has occurred. Life has changed. I agree with you. It is. The sky, and that's what I was trying to say. It's different. I'm going to give you an example. DJing. I've been a DJ for 26 years on the side. Work all the weekends, right? I'll tell you, COVID shut it down. Now I'm just more choosy what I take. I enjoy having the weekends really to myself now. It's like, wow. And as long as you don't spend money, and if you're making money, you're not spending it, that's a win. But it is different, and it affects everybody in a different way. Everybody here. I know Bob, when you were going through looking for a lot of jobs, and Bob was, he found one now, and good. Scott, you'll see a lot of Bob's posts on there about the logistics. That last one I saw, Bob, was a fire. I didn't even know it. So on that part, I got two more. The emphasis on teamwork. Oh God, I'll tell you. In the military, I'm going to say that's where we learned a lot about teamwork. And Bob, everybody being a veteran, you just, if you didn't work as a team, you didn't succeed. You didn't succeed at all in the military without working as a team. And then when you came out of the military into the private sector, wow, it was a culture shock. You can see why some companies, or you could see what was going on. You were like, wow, nobody's helping each other, or this person doesn't like this one doesn't like that one. There's the rumors. If you can control, I say the rumor mill, and everybody knows what that is. The rumor mill, if you're a supervisor and you can put it dead in its tracks, like stop it right there. If you hear these rumors that this freaking person over here is just constantly running his mouth over something negative and it's not true, you need to just jump on it. Just pull that person to a side and say, what you're saying is I don't really feel as comfortable. I don't think it's good for our team. So I'm asking you, could you please just try to back away from that negativity because it affects your team. So when you got that one person, that one bad egg that's just saying things left and right, they suck. They're going to stick you for overtime. When you bring a new person in, you're trying to show them, and you got that one with that friggin' attitude over there that's got to sit there and constantly some wise. I'm going to go off on this, but they go off with a wise ass remarks over and over. They're the ones that you learn as you get experience that you want to take out of the picture. They're the ones you want to get out. Get them. Don't even bring that new person around them. Don't even mention their name. But you need to nip it in the bud. You need to go over to that person, pull them into a meeting, and have a really serious conversation with them, saying this is not good for our team. This is not good for the new candidates that just walked through, watched you complaining over there, and you think it's great. That is the kind of stuff that you got to stop. Bam, right there. Hit it off. Get rid of that person or do something with them, or write them up, take them through the process, or just get rid of them. I mean, they just cause issues when it comes to teamwork. I'm sorry, I get worked up on this one, but it's embarrassing when, as a recruiter and a manager, and you're walking new people into a facility, and they're looking to work here, and you got that smart ass that's just going to constantly say something. And these people hear it. It's embarrassing. So you got to step on that real quick. All right. I vented for that 30 the all right, Bill, have a great night. I only got one more thing here. The This, I want to mention this, and then I'm going to call it a night. I like this part, how, so you can tell how organized I am. All right. It's called, I like about it, motivators, right? And hygiene factor. I like the comparison here. It was an article, right? Motivators and hygiene factor. And what's that mean is I'm going to end it with this. Motivators feel responsibility, right? They feel responsibility. They feel job satisfaction. They feel, well, yeah, cutthroat. It is, Bob. And it's just irritating. Sometimes you just want to say, shut up. Just, it must be horrible to be you. I'm sorry. But it's just, you get those people that are just negative all the time. It just gets to you. But the motivators are responsibility, job satisfaction, recognition, achievement, growth opportunities, and advancement, right? That's a motivator. That's the type of person you want to have. One more time: responsibility, job satisfaction, recognition, achievement, growth opportunities, and advancement. Now, the hygiene factor. What does that mean? The hygiene factor: working conditions, peer relationships, leadership quality, job security, compensation, status. If you think about what I just said, motivators, yep, say 1 in every 10. You know what I mean there. You got, Scott, you got to just say to yourself, I get irritated about it because it really bothers me sometimes. I won't show it, but I'm going to pull that person. I will call them out every time anymore. I'm tired of it. I don't want it. I'll do it very professionally. Pull them in and tell them how it makes you feel. Tell them how it makes how your team feels. Do it in a professional way, and that person's going to probably think like, whoa. Now, it could go reverse with you. It could be like this person's just going to go off and be everything. But that's where, as a leader and a manager and with HR, with everybody like that, you can put that to an end. But on that note, again, motivators, hygiene factor. It makes sense, right? Back and forth. And one last time, it's called the employee life cycle. This is it. This is the main reason of the show. If you want to be the employer of choice, first is your attraction, number one. Number two is the recruitment. So you got that job posting. You got that attraction, right? Boom. Now you got the recruitment part, right? So now you're recruiting. Boom. Next step, orientation runs smooth, nice and smooth. Everybody's happy. Break them through. Make it just an awesome experiment, right? Experience. Number four, development. You want to take that person from attraction, recruitment, orientation, then development. Once you train that person in development and you really put some money in there, you really put some training into this person, right? That's going to be rewards, because then it's going to go to retention. All right. That means you've saved that person. But the last, number 6, I was like, why does it go like that? Offboarding, they leave. So think about it one more time. Attraction, recruitment, orientation, development, retention, and if not, they leave. That's just the way it is. So on that note, everybody, I want to thank everybody for coming on the show tonight. Be back Wednesday night with Andre Young. Don't miss this interview with Andre Young. I'll tell you what, talk about leadership, and this gentleman is going to be on Wednesday at 8:30 and 9 o'clock. It's going to be one of the great shows on LinkedIn. And we're all excited, a lot of people, to have him on the show and take this time. But thanks, everybody. I really appreciate it. Gabe, thank you so much for putting my show up on at 9 o'clock on your posting. I think that's awesome what you do. So I'm going to end it out here. Everybody have a great night.